Welcome all. I am filling in for JSU. JSU will be on the premium show later tonight with Wiley as they talk up some Chiefs and Jags. This time, though, we get Big T and obviously a guy who enjoyed the Bengals game yesterday, I assume. All right. Yeah, it was a really thrilling 37-24 matchup. The over hit by a mile, and the Bengals sucked. Big T, how was it?
Man, it was a brutal first half. Showed a little life in the second half, but still didn't even get the cover. Detroit honestly didn't even play that good. I mean, Detroit got a bunch of turnovers. Still didn't like dominate or anything. So, Drew took down first yesterday. I always update the standings on Tuesday, so I didn't actually even look who. I knew it wasn't me, obviously, but I didn't know who won. Drew into the winner's circle. I love that. I love that contest. It's a fun contest. And I like the contest because it makes you get in the top 10 to get like good points. None of the like who just plays the most. I mean, I've played, if not all of them, most of all of them. I think I've only got a top 10 once. So I got work to do. But I think I think at the end of the season, we're going to have a true champion of the print factory, whoever was up there the most. I think the scoring system's pretty good for a pool like that.
Yeah, the scoring system is nice. I got 15th or whatever, Big T. I didn't get into the points there. It's a grueling process if you're not inside the top 10. You can have a really good
I've got a
DFS.
bunch in like that 15 to 20 and it kills you. Like what if we were doing like a different system, you'd get rewarded. You don't get it just like in tournaments though. If you don't get up top, you don't get rewarded. You can't min cash around here.
You cannot make your way to a min cash and expect to win the NFL Print Factory contest. And you got another one tonight, so you can even still get in now. I mean, it might be a little late, but God, with the way if you get
It's only $100 too. You get in there and you compete. Yeah, if someone still wanted to get in, they could get in if they wanted.
Oh, absolutely. And again, yes, I miss JSU too. He'll be on tonight on the premium show with Wiley. So you will not be missing his takes if you're an RPS member here. And it should be a good time ahead of us. Big T, we got a Chiefs slate today. And you were noting before we even started the ownership on Patrick Mahomes is upwards of 90% even. And it's hard to not see why, right? Just look at the guys in his price range. You got Brian Thomas, ETN, Trevor Lawrence. Like Mahomes is the top projected guy by about 5 points. But that's going to be the highest owned guy we see on a showdown on DraftKings probably this season.
Yeah, and it's even if you like run the Sims, I just ran it naked on mine. No crazy projections, no anything. And I get 42% captain and 41% 41% flex. So I'm probably under on the flex number and I'm probably over on captain number. But point being, actually I kind of agree with that too almost. Like I don't mind those numbers from the Sims, but there's just not that much up top. The way the Chiefs play, they spread it around a lot. You got Worthy, who's been banged up, Kelsey, who's old, and a bunch of other guys. And then Jacksonville plays somewhat similar, right? A lot of running backs. Brian Thomas, I guess you could say, is the number one, but he's been kind of bad this year. And you have other receivers that – in theory, get a lot of work too. So it's one of the more interesting showdown slates I've seen in a while. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely different.
Yeah, and going back to, this season so far, just to nerd out for a second, but like basically the Jaguars have been pretty weak against the pass. They give up over 233 yards a game. That's 23rd in the league, but they've been pretty good against the run, which Kansas City can't run the ball anyway, right? Like Pacheco and Hunt, what a 1-2 punch that is. It's probably the softest 1-2 punch in the game right now. But yeah, they're not going to be able to run the ball too well against Jacksonville like they haven't been able to do all season. Also, the Jaguars, you haven't wanted to play running backs against them, but guys who have thrived are wide receivers who lined up out wide, especially. I think they're like second worst in the league in that regard. So, Xavier Worthy moves around all over the place, but like Hollywood Brown, too, could be a guy who kind of thrives in this matchup. Flip it over to the Chiefs side. They've been pretty good against the pass. And for another season in a row, Big T, they are elite against wide receivers who line up out wide. So it's kind of like the opposite in terms of matchups, in terms of like, you're targeting, Hollywood Brown and like Xavier Worthy on the other side. But you might be wanting to avoid like a guy like Brian Thomas, who hasn't even eclipsed like 55 yards yet this season, which is just crazy to say here in week 5. But also, just kind of going into that, the Chiefs have been horrible against the run, giving up over 120 yards on the ground per game. They play a lot of running back, Jacksonville does, but man, ETN's numbers on a per touch basis have been pretty good. But again, a lot of mouths to feed with Tootin, him, and even Allen getting in the mix a little bit. I mean, there's just a little bit of avoidance. Like, I have some reservations. Obviously, we watched that Jaguars and Bengals game, right? Where you just saw Brian Thomas. He could have had 25 fantasy points if he showed a little bit of heart. But I don't think he's got any heart here. And it's just absolutely awful to watch. He is one of the most frustrating players in the league. But, I assume a lot of the ownership is going to really gravitate toward the quarterbacks here. And then the skill players will kind of be split up a little bit evenly. I mean, we'll get into that here in a second, though. Do you want to go position by position here, Big T?
Yeah, I'm all for whatever you want to do. I liked your notes though there, because the first thing I do when I look at the Showdown stuff, I always pull up, especially now we're week 5. I pull up my flow chart, and as you were talking about it, I wanted to kind of see, because my numbers are a lot based on fantasy points and stuff, but I still like to see the scale, and exactly what you said. I mean, Kansas City's been awesome against receiver. I don't have like where they're at inside or outside on my numbers, but they've been really good against overall against the receiver, which kind of stinks. I'm glad I looked at it. And Jacksonville, for example, has been terrible against receiver, but Kansas City just hasn't been that great at receiver. So it's almost like each strength of each team is kind of the weakness of the other team, and vice versa, where it doesn't line up very good for a Showdown. I love in Showdown, especially when you come to like a flow chart and you can see, okay, this matchup's great for tight ends, and it lets you bump some of the guys in Showdown. Tonight, I mean, you go to Brian Thomas, you can't really bump him. The tight ends on both sides, they're good against tight ends, so it's not great there. I mean, there's just not really that many good spots. The one spot at all that checks out is Jacksonville running game. And I still don't feel amazing about that. Kansas City's always in the past been pretty good at shutting down running backs. And I don't know, maybe this year is different, but just as far as their scheme in the past, it feels like they like to shut down running back. But that's the only spot. I mean, some of these, even the Mahomes spot, like Jacksonville's been good against quarterbacks so far. Granted, again, it's only 4 weeks in, and some of the quarterbacks, the schedule does influence some of the stuff early in the year. But still, I mean, there's nothing that sticks out.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, let's go through the Jag schedule here. All right, so they had the Panthers and Bryce Young. They had the Bengals and Jake Browning. They had C.J. Stroud and the Texans, and then they got, what was it? Was that the Mac Jones? No, it was the Purdy-led 49ers. So, yeah, I mean, look.
But in my chart's still weekly, though. It's not so like you're getting three cupcakes and one somewhat okay matchup. So it's definitely going to make you look better than you actually are.
Yeah, and I would say too, just kind of playing a little bit of devil's advocate and stuff is like if they're already in the bottom quadrant of the league in terms of yards allowed in the pass, like Purdy threw for 300 on them. I know a lot of that had to do with like script and stuff, right? They were trailing a bunch in that game, but like he threw for 300 without his wide receiver ones, and we saw Jake Browning throw for a ton and Jamar Chase go for 13 and 130. Like I really think this Jags team is going to be gettable through the air, but we haven't had a chance to see it. I mean, they did make C.J. Stroud look rather tame, and then the Baltimore defense said, "Hold my beer," and let C.J. Stroud sling it all over him for 4 tutties or whatever too. So yeah, I think this is definitely a jury still out on them. I think I had a stat here, Big T, but this was on the show that we did on Saturday a week ago. Do you know the Jags were the number 1 team in terms of giving the opposing quarterback the least amount of time to throw the ball going into week 4?
Incredible. I did not. That's a good stat, though. I like stats like that for Showdown.
And again, it might have helped that they played the Texans and the Bengals and stuff, but they still got to
stats are still stats, though. And in Showdown, you need something. You can't just use the projections. You have to add some sauce to it. So if you have no sauce, then there's nothing to do. I love it. And yeah, you have to acknowledge too that it's not 100% guaranteed lock type stuff, but it's stuff that you can move in directions and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Corey Holt said the flow chart's starting to click now. We even had we had a little bit of a Jamar Chase mention here in a second. Yeah. What did the Browning Chase stack do versus the Lions? Chase Chase was open so much that game. You were watching it. You were saying the same thing. There was a couple times where he was open over the top. They finally found him in the fourth quarter. But man, anyone who says Browning is anywhere near even an average quarterback is way wrong. That's so bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad. Chase ends up as what, the receiver 2 on the week, but it definitely wasn't. President, he stole John S. from me. He stole him. I had to bring in Gregory off the bench.
Yeah. Nothing like getting the call at 1:20. You're just sitting there. It's like, what's your plans today? Well, I mean, I don't know. What are my plans today? I knew what the next question was. You just had to tell me which one it was going to be. We'll go ahead and dive into the quarterbacks here. I mean, look, there isn't much to be said about Patrick Mahomes, but I think you're exactly right. You mentioned it just a few minutes ago for those who missed it. You're going to be a little bit overweight in the captain, and in result, you're going to be a little bit underweight in the flex because, well, he's going to be damn near 100% owned. He's going to be 90%. So if you're getting 40% in the captain, he's probably going to come in at about 25% on, with the field. He's a great player. We don't need to have rocket science here. He's been running the ball very effectively too. Using his feet just at pretty insane clip. I don't know if Worthy back will cause him to, kind of take a little bit less risk, but against the Eagles especially, he looked like prime Mike Vick, man, the way he was running that ball. And then Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about Trevor Lawrence, Big T. This guy has been the most frustrating quarterback, I think, of the season. It's just because you see the talent with these guys, and then half the time it's not his fault either. I think there was a situation where there was a drop touchdown from De'Ami Brown against the Bengals too, and then you have Brian Thomas doing alligator arms over the middle. I'm not saying it's not his fault either. He's definitely not been great. But man, at 9,200 though, it's going to be tough to avoid both quarterbacks. I think in reality you're probably going to have a lot of lineups with both of them, especially when Brian Thomas and Travis Etienne are the two guys ahead of him. They're not even cheaper than Lawrence here. What do you think?
Yeah, and you just have that. I always try to end up with 50% plus in the flex, no matter how many teams. It's just hard not to play quarterbacks in Showdown, even if you're playing a few teams. But when they get the prices on these guys in the 8 and 9Ks, which we see, as you get used to the Showdowns, you start to see price ranges and stuff. And Mahomes is even on the somewhat low scale, which they've done a lot this year with these quarterbacks. But 9,200 for Lawrence is just really hard. But it is one thing that could get you different if you just play one quarterback or something. And like we talked about, Jacksonville's running game might be their strength going into this. Trevor Lawrence has just been so bad. I love Jacksonville. I've loved everything he's had around him for his whole career. Granted, he's changed coaches and systems a lot, which does hurt quarterbacks, obviously. But you still have a lot of weapons. He should be better than he is. He's at home. And honestly, tonight's kind of a make or break game for this team this year. Kansas City's coming. They haven't been great this year. They're on the road. They're 3.5 point favorite or something, whatever it is right now. And Jacksonville's got to show up in this game. They got to play good. Trevor Lawrence can't come out here tonight and pull the Jake Browning from yesterday and just suck. They're going to boo him off the field if it happens. So I actually don't think being lighter on Trevor Lawrence is the worst thing in the world. I will have a ton. If you're playing, a lot of people watching these shows don't play 150, but even if you're playing 20 teams, I'd be okay being a little under on that. Again, if you play a main team or something, I'm not saying you have to do that, but I think rules and stuff do help people, especially if you're building. I've started to with 150, just letting SaberSim kind of control it with the portfolio feature and stuff. But I still like rules. If I was hand building, we have a lot of people that hand build 5 or something, because that gets you in a different path to some. If I just say I want one quarterback, no matter what, it's one quarterback on all my teams, not 2, not 0, instantly you get rid of all those combos that have both quarterbacks, which the percentage is better than me. I don't know what percentage have both, but if Mahomes is 90 and Lawrence is 60 or whatever, 70, I mean, you're going to have a pretty big percentage that have both of them. So I'd be okay with going under on Lawrence. Mahomes is the one, though. I literally just don't see how you could ever fade him outside of just random stuff happening. The running game sucks. I'm literally never going to like the Kansas City running game at all. So it just I could consider even just saying just lock me Mahomes and the captain and just move on and just play around with everything around it. Because honestly, I don't know if Jacksonville has the fight in them tonight. They just have looked not great to me. I can see them quitting on Trevor Lawrence a little bit. I'm not a Chiefs guy. I'm the worst guy to ask about Chiefs games because they always burn me. But I don't know if we see Jacksonville respond tonight.
It's funny that you mentioned it too. Like, you just go through it. I hate the Chiefs.
How's
right?
that 60%? Hold on a second. How's that 60%? 90% and 60%. How's that 60%?
No, you'd be looking more like 50. Yeah, because like,
yeah, I mean, you still don't know that. Like, well, I don't, because it could be. It's definitely not. All the 60 don't have Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, you're
not trying to make fun of me, Brian D.
90 and 70%. It wouldn't be just like a simple subtraction there because you got 10% of lineups without, Mahomes. Maybe a few of those don't have either quarterback. You'd be looking more like 50, 55% of the, teams with only one quarterback, which it's still good, or without both quarterbacks, I should say. Or whatever it is. All right, Big T. Chiefs finally get Worthy back, right? I think that was the big thing. I was judging them without Worthy, right? I was very harsh on them. I didn't think that offense would be able to move the ball without him. And to be honest, they kind of didn't against the Eagles, who haven't really shown to have a great defense by any means to start this season. But again, they'll peak at the right time. Then against the Giants, they looked horrible. I think everyone saw that game on primetime TV. What was that, Sunday night? Just an absolutely terrible game. It was like 22-9 or whatever. Again, the offense didn't jump off the page there. Mahomes threw for 200 yards, but it was like Tyquan Thornton who had the big day, and no one else really eclipsed double-digit fantasy points. Like, literally looking at it, I think Kareem Hunt was the only other guy besides Mahomes and Thornton to get double-digit fantasy points in that matchup in terms of skill players. They finally get Worthy back, though. What does that offense do? It explodes. And again, the Ravens could have a bottom 5 defense in the NFL. I don't even think that's, maybe at that point. They do have a bottom 5 defense in the NFL at this rate. Chiefs go in, put 37 on them. Worthy immediately slots in as the number 1 guy. Hollywood Brown has a touchdown. Travis Kelce does okay. But again, they just weren't able to run the ball. I think with Worthy back, though, like, Mahomes is ready. I think that's the guy that they were kind of missing. And I think they're going to be kind of putting the pedal to the metal a little bit. They smell blood in the water. What was it? The Chargers lost again yesterday, right? So you thought the Chargers would kind of run away with the thing in the AFC West, maybe the Chargers and Broncos. It turns out you drop one to the Giants and you drop one to the Commanders there with, the Commanders have a bunch of injuries they're dealing with. Like, yeah, I mean, the Chiefs got to be smelling blood in the water. I think this is a great Mahomes captain spot. I'm not saying anything different than the field, though. He is going to be the most popular guy.
Yeah. That's the worst part, right? Like, we you can love it all you want, but everyone thinks the same thing. So we got to get different somewhere.
Exactly. We'll do that here in the next few positions. We'll move on to running back here. It should be noted. I mean, I think Pacheco is one of the worst running backs, like, who actually has a big role in an offense right here. And he's duped people. This is the thing, too. I always say this. Like, Andy Reid showed you what he thought of Isaiah Pacheco in that playoff run when Pacheco was completely healthy, and he still went to Kareem Hunt, and gave Kareem Hunt all the workload in the Super Bowl and stuff. And people were like, well, he's going to be coming into this season healthy. And what do? He comes in healthy, and it's still Kareem Hunt 50% of the work, and it's still Kareem Hunt at the goal line. Like, I have zero interest in Pacheco tonight, so chalk him up for an anytime touchdown. But like, Kareem Hunt's going to be the guy around the goal line. And here's the big thing, though, right? So, we always talk about rookies and Brashard Smith. How about Brashard Smith stepping in with only 7 routes last week, but getting 4 targets and 3 catches out of them? You lose a little bit of that pass work, especially with those running backs there. And he also gets, 4 carries. That could have been in garbage time. I don't want to completely commit to that, but also had a couple carries against the Giants. Like, this trio of running backs here for the Chiefs, like, unless you're banking on a goal line touch from Kareem Hunt, you're not going to get there with just, volume. And Brashard Smith, if he is going to be involved in the pass game, like, he's a perfect guy in a trail script, I think, here, Big T. Like, he would be the guy that could get you a little bit different if you think the Chiefs are going to lose today. And, maybe that they're trailing in a 2-minute drill and all of a sudden he reels off 4 catches for 40 yards at 3,200. Like, and he's capable of that. He was a former wide receiver at SMU. Like, he is a good player. Just all about the playing time for him. What do you think about this Chiefs running back situation?
Yeah, agree with a lot of the stuff you're saying. Pacheco, I can already see it coming. The way Chiefs games go for me, I can just see it. He's gonna get in the box twice. He looks like the worst play ever. I just can't imagine playing Pacheco, but I can't really imagine playing Kareem Hunt all that much either, for that matter. This is my problem though with Chiefs slates, and then Mahomes will throw it to one of our key guys in the end zone. It'll be PI. They'll run it in with Hunt or Pacheco. I just, man, it's brutal, but you do have to take some stands. So I'm definitely going to be under on the Chiefs running backs. They're not even going to be that high owned. I'm still going to be under. Yeah, I mean, Brashard Smith is a beast. I agree with Rubio. The issue for him is they priced him up. I mean, 3,200, I think, is pretty steep for his workload. It reminds me a little of, not to the same extent, but God, who was the Houston guy that everyone, I'm drawing a blank on his name,
Woody
but
Marks?
yeah, Woody Marks. Everyone, including myself, saw
Yeah.
1 week. He looked explosive. Comes back yesterday and really just doesn't do anything. As everyone kind of liked him. I like Brashard Smith and all the quotes. Like we're in a bubble for sure, in the like DFS bubble on Twitter and X. But everyone loves this guy. Like he's the trendy guy. And it's true, because you know why? It's because Pacheco and Kareem Hunt stink. I mean, they're terrible. So of course everyone wants a weapon, and he fits. Who was the dude? Damian Williams, was that his name? That when they won the Super Bowl,
Yes,
that
sir.
had an
Damian
awesome
Williams. Yeah.
gadget type guy. I mean, Brashard Smith fits this offense awesome. Bro, I got distracted by my man Brian D in the chat. Brashard Smith, I think you don't think he's a little expensive. The good part about him is he is low owned. I think he fits the Mahomes captain all perfectly, right? Because he can catch some dump offs from Mahomes captain. I still like, how do you compare Kareem Hunt and him, Brashard? Like, I feel like Kareem Hunt should be way more expensive than Brashard Smith, but I also feel like Kareem Hunt is pretty accurately priced at 4,200.
So the way I would look at it, Big T, is that if you're playing one of these guys, you're literally playing them the anytime touchdown bet. Like, that's what you're open for at that point. Like, if you think they score, like they have Kareem Hunt especially would be optimal in that sense. Like, probably because you'd think he'd have a catch, maybe 20 yards or whatever. Like, it'd be a stat line. It'd be like the 11 for 27 and 2, right? Where they just play horrible, but gets into the box. If you
Hunt
said
honestly reminds me a little, they're not the same player. I'm not saying it's directly, but like Ramondre last night, how he was super underpriced. I didn't like Ramondre, but they had 3 running backs.
Yep.
He was kind of in that. He looked too cheap, put it that way. With the projection, Ramondre looked too cheap, and then he ends up what? He gets in the box twice. He's a super easy play. So Kareem Hunt does feel like a value, even though I hate him. And I totally agree with what you said. They like him more than Pacheco. And if they truly do like him more, why would he not just get early down work and Brashard Smith get like third down work type thing? So Pacheco's the guy if Pacheco has a good night, there's just literally no way I'm going to be good with him, because I just can't do it. There's just no way.
No, I hear that. We're going to be out on Pacheco. But again, his ownership will probably be in the basement, like, 10% or so. But it's the same thing where Kareem Hunt's the guy they call on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, all these short yardage situations. Like, I'd be shocked if Pacheco's in there around the goal line, takes that carry. If I saw him near the goal line and I could place a bet, like, I'm putting my money on Kareem Hunt. And, it's like, for Shard Smith, why doesn't he play more? It's like Andy Reid's always been that way with rookies, right? Like, just doesn't play the rookies off the rip, especially. But hey, could be a new week for that. But there's a rookie that I think that our guy Bruce would be incredibly happy to hear us is saying Bashal Tootin. That's who it is. I couldn't even get that name out there, but one of his favorite running backs here. Looked great against the Bengals.
Traumatized by you yesterday when you called the Bengals backup. You come up with these freaking names that are nowhere near. You always have the European like sense in you. What did you call the Bengals backup?
Ripien.
Ripien. Like that is the most. I mean, that is an insane pronunciation. His quarterback, his dad was like a Super Bowl quarterback, and you don't know how to pronounce his name.
Is it Ripien? Is it Ripien?
You're getting closer.
There's no way I can get it then, because that's the only two that I
Ripien,
would.
like you called him Rip. I was traumatized for. I didn't even know who you were talking about, and then it hit me that you were talking about Ripien.
Hey, he had his helmet on the sideline there. It looked like he was getting ready to go in.
You
And
never saw his dad. Like his dad's a legend.
Never saw it. Never saw that.
I think it's his
There's
dad.
probably for good reason. You say his dad's a
dad.
legend. Like, what's his dad? Tim Rippin? Tim
Mark.
Mark?
I don't know if it's his son. It might not be
Not
his son. After I'm saying it, it's not even his son.
It's not his son.
It's not his son. It makes it. That is how you pronounce it, though.
Devin Dampier, baby. Come on now.
Yeah, see, the real ones know. That's not his dad, though. I'm like, now I'm even more traumatized because he played it, I think, Boise State. I gotta look this up now.
Yeah, you got to. I don't even know who Mark Rippin is. Yeah. I see. We got this comment, Ripien. I feel like that's the way I was pronouncing it. Is that the way it is? Is that the way it is not? Like, no. I don't know. You haven't helped my case here. You have not helped me solve out. Rippin. That's terrible. It's
not his dad, though. I'm glad I looked this up because this is what I do. I go on shows and I say stuff that I think is his nephew.
Close enough. Close
See,
enough.
at least they're related. I thought I was losing my mind. I gotta.
This is making my ears bleed. Please stop. That is good.
No.
Oh God.
That's the dude that's always mean to me in chat. Are you the dude? That's the dude that's always mean to me in chat. He hates me. That's one of the few people that's always mean to me. Well, the good thing is from the chat, J Monchichi.
Hey, he's loyal. He's watching the shows. He's taking in the content. He loves you. He loves you. He just
every time I post a core in like golf, he always makes fun of me every single time. Yeah, we just I knew it was that guy. That guy hates me.
All right. Anyway,
I don't like if he doesn't like my. I'm fine with it. We actually get along, even though he hates me.
It's Rippin, and he's not a legend. Okay.
All right. That could be true too.
Let's get back to our guy Tootin here, right? Obviously, it's just about carries at this point. If you were to go back to last week, ETN had about 19 touches to his 4 carries alone. In the receiving work too. I mean, this is all ETN's backfield as of now. People really want to be early on Tootin, right? But at the same time, if you only ran 5 routes and only got 4 carries, what are you really paying $2,800 for? Like Quint Allen actually got more work on third down. He had about 8 routes, while ETN had about 8 routes as well. On the ground, though, it's going to be ETN here, right? Like he'll get the majority of the touches. The Chiefs have been gettable on the ground a little bit this season. Not like, incredibly great, but they've been, below average in that regard. As far as Tootin and Quint Allen, like Allen's an okay punt play, but do you really need to punt on this slate? I really don't think so. I don't think you need that 400 player on this slate here. And you know me, Big T, if I see a 400, a 200 player, I'm the first one putting them in my lineup. You don't need them at all here today.
I think he's a decent play, though. I'll just be honest. Like, yeah. I haven't built teams yet. If you're not forcing him in, like some slates, you have a bunch of studs. You try to almost force in a cheap play. He's not one of those plays, but I actually think he's a decent amount better play than like Tootin. The problem with Tootin is he falls in that exact same price range as Brashard Smith, who I think these guys are just overpriced. I feel like they should be cheaper for like what they provide. They're not going to be on the field that much. I kind of think LeQuint, I kind of like him as a pass catching, and he's only 400 again. Like, so if you play, let's just look real quick. Let's play the game. Mahomes captain, Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas, E.T. So say you play the 3 studs for Jacksonville. It goes a long way to plug in a little punt too, or instead of one of the studs, if you don't play ETN, say, and you play Worthy or Kelsey, I don't know. I kind of think Allen's a better play than you do. The more I'm looking at it and thinking about it, because when they get down, which I think they will get down, the same reasoning you kind of had for Brashard Smith, the dump offs and stuff, I think it goes for Allen, but Allen's actually priced where Brashard Smith should be priced, down in the cheaper range. I'm not saying he should be 400. He should be like maybe 1,400 or 1,600 or something. So I actually like LeQuint Allen. He's my favorite running back out of all 6 of these guys.
Okay, that's interesting because I go back to week 3, 12 routes too. Like that's good enough, right? Like if you were getting that amount of work from a 200, 400 wide receiver, I'd be.
I
pretty
think he
impressed
could
with
get
that.
more and more as the season goes too, though. Just we saw him in college; he was a stud, and he handled so much workload
Oh, yeah.
that I think he could be a guy that just pops here and there.
And we got a Virginia Tech legend and a Syracuse legend. It's kind of nice having some DFS hoopers on here, man. I'll tell you, both these guys were like 9K in college. So Tootin always got hurt for me, it felt. But
Yeah,
this is like two good players here for DFS wise. Like, I think the more I look at it, I just think it was my disdain for like Brian Thomas, where I bumped him down a decent bit with this matchup and like not needing it. But I mean, there's a case that
even
can
if
be
it's
made that,
ETN though, I
yeah,
mean, it's tough not to play two of those good Jacksonville guys with the quarterback, Brian Thomas, ETN. I mean, it's tough.
yeah. I mean, this is interesting
The
too.
Jets loving him too. We're rallying a little bit here for LeQuint.
This comment got me good because I know our guy Beanair just used Grok a second ago to put something in here, and then ChatGPT putting in Alex Smith cap to fill a lineup. That is good stuff. I do want to say this, like when you're looking at that trail script wise, like it is completely scripting it to that point where it's like you probably wouldn't see ETN in there a ton, right? Where probably not running the ball 16, 17 times if LeQuint's going to be in there for a significant portion of the game. Then it kind of gets these wide receivers too, which it's an interesting build. Like, you can definitely go Chiefs heavy in that script too. Even if you don't want to play T-Law, but you'll have the salary to do so. You play like a 3-3 with 3 Chiefs studs for the most part. I guess I can be talked into it.
Before I even build, like in my head, my preferred build would be Brian Thomas, ETN, and LeQuint Allen, like as my 3 Jacksonville guys. And again, I don't know what is that. If I played Mahomes captain and I play those 3, who would I say? ETN, Brian Thomas, and LeQuint Allen as my 3 Jack. So I got 68.50 for my last spot. Like to me, I mean, that almost feels like a core type build for me because then I can play a lot of different options in there. I mean, even if you did go up with the 4-2, you still got 4,500 with Lawrence. And no one's going to do that with a Mahomes captain. But if you go more in the mid-range and play like a Kelsey, I mean, you can fit all kinds of stuff. Butker, there's a million directions you can go with a build like that.
Oh, without a doubt. Like I'm kind of looking at that now too. I just kind of built one hand building wise, and yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'll give you credit. You know what? Maybe I'm in on LeQuint Allen a little bit more. Talking about ETN though, let's spend a little bit more time on him here in just a second. Like, you obviously, it sounds like you think the Chiefs win, right? Like, let's go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off.
I said it also, though. I've never picked a Chiefs game right in my life. But, yes, I think the Chiefs win. Every time I think they win, they lose, though. So you might want to bet the Jags.
So didn't you even, like, say the other day, like, every time that if you just spent all your money betting on Patrick Mahomes, you'd be rich?
I'd live in your basement right now.
Yeah. That'd be
like, I've never won a bet on a Chiefs game in my life.
All right.
For them and against them. I've never. Whenever I love the Chiefs, it just doesn't happen.
You're towing the line. You're not giving anyone a reason.
Not that. That's not quite what it is, Hank. I love it when it's like a 4.5, 5.5, and that 5.5 is the sweet spot for me. 3.5 isn't a tricky number, really. 5.5, like if this was Kansas City minus 5.5, I would definitely be scared. I mean, if we'd be roommates. If I only could bet on Chiefs games, me and DC would both be in Rubio's basement next to whatever that, I forget what his stupid tennis guy is on the wall behind him.
Dimitrov?
His only freaking thing. What's the dude's name?
Grigor Dimitrov. You and Kurt could also be
only freaking poster on the whole wall, and it's Grigor Dimitrov.
It'd be so great to have a landlord of all y'all. It would be really nice. There's plenty of room too. Yeah, 4 empty rooms, man.
Too much.
Oh, it's good stuff. Can you fix his walls? Break. I'm going to say this too. Travis Kelce is going with a hyphen. He's going to go with a hyphen. All right, Travis Kelce Swift. Or Travis.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like if it was me, I might change my name to her with that much cheese. I could be a Swift.
She'll go with the hyphen too, because she'll want to let everyone know she's married.
She's not going with the
She's going with the hyphen.
No way. They're just both Kelce Swift or what?
That
Swift,
would be so
Kelsey?
nice. Yeah, they're both
No
T
chance.
Kelsey Swift.
She's definitely keeping her name.
Yeah, it's going to be a hyphen. I'm telling you right now. Lock it in. Hyphen. All right. So enough about that. Let's move on to wide receiver here. We mentioned it over the last 2 seasons. The Chiefs have been top 3 in the NFL in both seasons. This one only being 4 weeks long against wide receivers who line up out wide. A lot of that has to do with their corners, their matchup, their scheme, whatever you want to call it. Spags is really good. And the guy who lines up out wide the most for the Jags, well, Brian Thomas. I know you like him a little bit. Honestly, I don't like him at all here, Big T. If there's a guy I'm going to take a stand against, there's Brian Thomas.
Don't
here.
be pigeonholing me like this either. This would you said I do not like him.
You just listed him. You said him
on this slate. His floor is more. There's a big difference between liking him and saying that he fits in some builds. I don't think he needs 20-something points.
Well, can he
Taylor, Kelsey, Swift, Ripien,
baby, Ripien. Let's talk about this then real quick. If you think his floor is pretty good, I just don't agree with that. His floor is stout at all.
That was the worst day ever. I literally had 100K in action. You remember this, Rubio?
No.
This was the most money I ever played on the slate. It was the Super Bowl when we were at the other company. Actually, the Roto Grinders party was in Nashville, and I literally had 100K. I think I had 120K in action. And going into that fourth quarter, just totally in great shape to win a lot of money. And then Mahomes just bitch slapped him in the fourth quarter and went from literally doing decent to getting nothing back and just getting absolutely stroked for 6 figures. That was my only 6-figure loss day. Just absolutely stroked.
Was that the 49ers play?
Yeah, that was the Super Bowl. The Chiefs Niners the first time, and the Niners dominated them the whole game.
Yeah, Juszczyk scored. I remember that.
God,
Damian Williams went off.
It was a disaster. It was a 4th down play. Tyreek Hill beat the guy deep and changed the whole game.
Oh, God, man. I'm looking at this right now, so I'm going to go through the stats here for you. Okay, if you don't like Brian Thomas, right? 5 for 49 last week, 2 for 55 the week before. Against the Bengals, the best matchup you can possibly have, 4 for 49. I just don't think the floor is there. I just don't. I just don't think he's good enough to even guarantee yourself a double-digit floor with him. I would rather have – I cannot believe I'm saying this. Anyone who's watched shows throughout the offseason and throughout the first few weeks here with me on, I think Travis Hunter is a better play than him, man. I cannot believe I'm saying that at all. The routes last game, for people wondering, it's well, is he even playing that much? He only ran 5 less routes than Brian Thomas last game. Parker Washington actually ran the most with 27, and then Brenton Strange was out there for almost the entirety of the game as well. So Parker Washington, I could be in on. Travis Hunter, though, he moves all over the place, and they just give him really short passes to try and do work. And it's they're trying to justify using the top pick on him, right? Trading, all that assets for him. But he's running primarily from the slot, too, which the Chiefs are weaker against. I cannot believe I'm saying it, though, but sign me up for some Washington and Hunter over Brian Thomas here. And it's really, I don't think I need to get too complicated into that. You got De'Ami Brown back in the fold, right? So, but he's not on the injury report this week, right? So he's going to be coming in, which will hurt Parker Washington a decent bit. What do you think, though? De'Ami's a great play at 2K, even with the bad matchup. It's just who does he affect more, Washington or Hunter?
De'Ami?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think De'Ami just fits nicely with Thomas and Hunter. I mean, you put Hunter a little in the slot, De'Ami out and in. I mean, I think it makes a lot of – I mean, Parker Washington is a tough play now at 3,600. He's projected similar to Brashard and those guys. I think he gets nuked a little bit, especially when De'Ami's only 2K. You have to have a decent amount of interest in De'Ami at 2K. I agree with Travis Hunter, too. It just he looks like a good play, especially at his ownership. I mean, he's only projected 15% owned. He just makes a lot of sense, and he's a huge talent, and he's a primetime type guy. This is a huge game for Jacksonville at home, Monday Night Football. I could see Travis Hunter step. I actually like your Travis Hunter call, and he fits the build a lot better than Brian Thomas does, where you can get in the mid-range a little bit. some of these guys. So I like that. And Diami's got to be the best play in theory based on like price, just because he's 2,000. I mean, he's way cheaper than some of those other mid-range guys that I didn't love. And he's got upside. We've seen Diami have big games, take the top off it, as old JSU says. Yeah, I like Hunter and Diami a ton. And I don't like Brian Thomas, but it's just projection wise, I'm getting 33% Brian Thomas, which is about the field.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm good with that. I want to be about the field, Brian Thomas. I don't need to be lower. I don't need to be over that. Diami, I will definitely be way over on Diami. I mean, 2,000 is just a steal. Yep. I don't really see any reason. He's going to be the highest. I don't know how it only says 24%. I think he gets even higher than that at 2K, although you might not need the cheapies, like you said, as much. So maybe that's somewhat decent, but he should be. There's no better play value-wise than Diami Brown tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, JSU, I'll fill in his role. Diami Brown's the best play since sliced bread was invented, right? And that's what he's going to be saying tonight on the premium show. He's going to be just glazing Diami Brown for about 30 minutes. He's going to be captaining Diami Brown even, I bet. I would not be shocked if JSU's core is Diami Brown captain. That's how much this guy loves him at 2K. And you can build anything you want with him at captain. I don't know if you've clicked on that yet, but like,
I do not play the cheap captains like you.
I'm just saying, Diami Brown. All of a sudden,
you don't need those guys. You're the one that told me you don't need them. One thing that I've started to play around with more this year, like when I look at it, like if I play Diami captain, what else does it get me? And like, so with Mahomes captain, I can already play pretty much whatever I want. But just say all of a sudden I get what, Travis Hunter instead of a punt or something by doing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you're gauging it at, right? Like you're saving about 6K in salary going with that captain route for the most part. You know, you're using that on instead of a stud captain, you're hoping that Diami could match whoever would be in the winning captain, probably Mahomes, right? Not just match, but really get within that ballpark. And I don't know, it's food for thought. But one thing I wanted to go in on too is just like he didn't play week 3 or week 4, right? So like Parker Washington played the whole game, but in reality, that could change. Like Parker Washington could take a hit. Travis Hunter could take a hit. If you wanted to throw the red flags out there in week 3 or in week 2 when the Bengals played the Jags, right? I love bringing up the Bengals, but Diami Brown ran 35 routes, Washington 11, and then it was Travis Hunter ran like 26 or so. So it's like they might be hurting Parker Washington the most. So with Diami back, maybe you bump down Parker Washington. He's already down to like 5 already. But just kind of show where that process goes, you know, and then bump up like Diami a little bit too. But
I think Parker Washington is even less than 5. I know he's projected for 5, but he's like Parker Washington's like got to be the worst play on the slate almost.
Brian mentions it too. Like he only had 2 targets. He played the whole game last week. If there was a guy who's expendable, it's got to be him. And
I hate when we do this though, and we really start going in on people because I just feel like they always have something happen and they crush. But he's got to be the worst play to me. He just has to be.
You just go back to week 3 where he had 11 targets. Though. I mean, like it's just I hate this Jags team so much. But yeah, if I had to rank them, I would rank them Diami, Hunter, Thomas, and then Parker Washington. That would be my 4.
By price, absolutely.
By price,
I agree with those rankings.
Yep. All right. Chiefs time. So we obviously saw our guy Xavier Worthy return last week, what the routes looked like. Juju Smith actually played the most. He had 31 routes last time out. Xavier Worthy, 27. Hollywood Brown, 24. Tyquan only ran 14 routes. He did catch a touchdown in that span. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. The guys who played, it was about 4 wide receivers for the most part. Jalen Royals only ran 4 routes, didn't get a target at all. If we were to isolate this to the Chiefs too, just to make it easier on the eye, I think Xavier Worthy's too cheap. Like, look, I think he's going to be. I talked about Mahomes captain being my favorite, but if there was a guy who, I don't even think it's getting that different. Captain's my issue. What is he? 12% captain? He'd be like my number 2 captain here, Big T, like without a doubt. And we thought we were getting that in week 1 before Travis Kelce ran into him and dislocated his shoulder or whatever. But I think he was primed for such a big start to the season without Rashee Rice. Like, just an absolute nuke job. And I think we're going to see it tonight a little bit. I think that at 8,800, you could even say he could be the top scorer on the entire slate. Just including everyone, it would take a couple touchdowns or even over 100 yards to do so. That's just where I'm at on it. And then I look at Juju and Hollywood Brown. I kind of want to target these outside wide receivers. Hollywood Brown be lining up outside quite a bit. The deep ball is always capable with them. Ownership going to be moderate on both those guys. But I like all three. Tyquan probably not going to get enough playing time to justify 5,200 here. Royals, Remigio, neither are going to be making the board here as well. What do you think?
So my only issue, I totally agree with Worthy on the surface. He was a late add to the injury report too, wasn't he? He's got weird stuff like his shoulder. I don't think he was, I don't know. When I looked him up earlier, it felt like he got added on Sunday or something, which is always weird to me, especially with the Chiefs. I mean, we've seen the Chiefs do weird stuff in the past where the dude just holds a helmet all out of the night and stuff. It's my only worry. If he was full strength, I might literally captain, because I agree with what you're saying on the surface. I think he's the best play. It matches up. I'm really worried about the injury more than other people are, though. And it's got shoulder and ankle now. It says swelling on the ankle and the shoulder. I mean, I think it's a decent amount for a speed guy that relies on his speed and cutting. I think it's a decent injury, which makes this slate even tougher because look at that swelling ad. I don't know, man. It's enough for concern for me to just add even more spice to this slate. But it also makes me want to just play Mahomes captain for sure, just because I can take more risk in the flex. I think it's a decent concern though. And with the ownership, what if we faded Worthy and Thomas as we always used to do this with running backs back in the core of Run Pure and the peak of Run Pure Showdown, where we would take huge stands, and sometimes it wouldn't work out, sometimes it would. I could see tonight just fading Worthy and Brian Thomas and just playing a lot of these other guys. I mean, Juju is so disgusting of a play, but he just continues to be open and get touchdowns, make plays. He's only 4,800. What 8 projection? I don't know. I wish Xavier Worthy was fully healthy because I want to spend up for one of these guys. But how different does your build get if you don't and you just you go a different route here? So I don't know. I'm worried of Worthy. I want to hear more. I want to read up on it, see what we can in the Discord. I'm sure people will be talking about it in our Discord. So I don't know. I don't know about Worthy. Juju, I do like Juju, even though that sounds terrible. He's the same play as Hollywood Brown to me. Juju and Hollywood. Hollywood is 7K. How in the world can you play Hollywood Brown at 7K?
He catches deep balls.
I get it. I mean, he's going to be 25% owned though. And I just don't see it. And again, a lot of these takes that I have on these shows, I'm talking mainly for 1 to 5 teams type thing. I'm not saying in 150 you can't, because I think it's two conversations. If you're playing 20 or 150, then you start talking in my above the field or lower type thing. And if you're playing 1 to 5, I think you can take more dramatic fades. So I think I would be under on these Kansas City receivers, except Juju. I actually think Juju is a pretty good play, as disgusting as that sounds. And one guy that, if you think Worthy's hurt like I do, Tyquan Thornton is going to get literally no ownership. In Showdown, he's going to be 5%. And he looked really good those first couple weeks until Worthy came back. He plays a similar spot as him. 5,200 is a crazy price point. He should be Diami's price, less than Diami's price. He should be 1,200. So you're paying 4K too much for Tyquan. But just again, you're talking Showdown. There's nothing wrong with what's the tournament tonight, Rubio? $20, whatever it is, 300, 400K for first. Whatever it is a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with taking some chances in Showdown and just make your team make sense. Okay, I think Brian Thomas, they shut down guys outside. I think Xavier Worthy's hurt. Okay, I want to play Tyquan Thornton because I think Worthy's hurt type thing. Just make him, force him in there. Just put him in there. And if you're right, you got a chance to make a lot of money. If you're wrong, you probably lose because he's not going to be on the field that much and stuff like that. But you know it going in. And you're trying to win a lot of money off $20. Yeah, same example we always use. If you go to the movies tonight with your whoever, your wife, your husband, whoever you're watching, $100, dinner, $100+. Do the same thing. Sit home, go pick up some food, make some spaghetti, and fire a couple entries in there. If you lose, you lose. Try to win it. Try to be a hero.
Yeah, just for people to know, don't expect him to be like ruled out late, right? But they said that he is expected to play, and the Chiefs will see how he feels at the stadium to confirm. That's always very promising, right?
Late ads, maybe I'm scarred from NBA too, but late ads just always worry me.
He'll get drugged up. He'll have a great first half and then vanish in the second half once the pain starts.
Don't be surprised if one cut like sets it all. Just don't be surprised. Yep. And then people get mad at us for saying this, like you're talking about injury, but it's just true. It's Showdown.
Yep.
When he gets hurt, what happens after that is how you should look at it.
He already got hurt of one Showdown slate this year at huge ownership. Who said?
Just saying, how many slates do people get hurt on Showdown too? A lot.
Oh, the college especially. Oh my God.
Yeah, all right, college is a different, because sometimes you don't know the info in college too. Like they could be hurt going in and you don't even know it.
No idea at all. They have these injury reports that they're supposed to be filling out too. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Big T, talk to me about some of these tight ends here. Strange has been a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde situation. Like there's some times where he'll play one drive and he'll have 3 catches, then you won't see him the rest of the game. But over the last 2 weeks, he had, 6 catches last week for 45 yards. And you go to week 3, he also had 6 catches for 61 yards. It looks like Trevor Lawrence is finally starting to hit up Strange here, starting to hook up some Strange.
Trevor Lawrence is hitting some Strange?
Yeah, he is. He's got to get a little comfortable. He's got the long flowing hair. He's slump buster, right? Someone to save his day, and that's Brenton Strange. And I think he's finally kind of getting those targets in the past 2 weeks where you can feel confident in at 4,600 being too cheap. The Chiefs have been okay against tight ends this season. Like they've actually been pretty good for the most part, but historically the Chiefs have been pretty weak against tight ends under Spags. If you were to look at the Chiefs schedule too, let's look at some of the guys they've gone against, right? This is one thing, your flow chart will say a lot of the same thing, but going back to last week, they shut down Mark Andrews, only had 30 yards, 7 catches, but again, 30 yards for the most part. And then against the Giants, who did they stop? Theo Johnson, right? Didn't do anything against them. I think Goddard was even out for the game they played, so it was Calcaterra. I don't even want to count that. But then the Chargers, too. It's like Conklin and Disley. So I haven't really gone against a star-studded group at all. I think Strange could be a guy who kind of does really well at 4,600. Ownership's going to reflect that. I've been out on Kelsey for so long here, but he's such a red zone threat that you can never X him out. But he's a guy I'm just kind of okay with, but I'm not going to go out of my way for him at all. You are a Noah Gray fan without a doubt. I can just see it in your eyes. You love Noah Gray and his 13, 14 routes every single time he's out there. Somehow manages 4 or 5 targets. In week 3, he had a bunch of targets. In week 2, what was it? Yeah, week 2. 5 targets on 14 routes. Then you go to week 3, he had 6 targets on 19 routes. Those are only 3 guys in play for me. I'm not going to consider Long, Bunt, Morris, or Tanyan. But what do you think about the tight ends here?
Yeah, it's again, I don't have a ton to disagree with you. Trevor's been hitting straight. Oh, have you considered that angle? If Worthy starts outshining Kelsey, he may injure him again. Yeah, he's already outshining him. Kelsey, I'm so under on Kelsey that it's not even funny. But this slate, everybody up top, have we given any positives up top? We're all negatives up top. Even Trevor. The more we talk about receiver though and running back, the more I'm I got to get back to Trevor Lawrence. I can't fade Trevor Lawrence on a slate where there's just not that much appealing out there. And the Chiefs are it's really hard. It's really hard to figure out. I don't like any Chiefs guys. That's the hard part. I do like some. That's why I think a 4-2 Jacksonville side could be in play for me. I don't know. I'm not going to the cheapies. You don't need to do that. Hunter Long was a beast in college. Noah Gray, I don't love him near as much as you think I do. I like him more on if Xavier Worthy was 100% healthy and Kelsey was good like he used to be. I think it's okay to punt with them. You just don't need it. I like the Jacksonville punts better. I do like Strange though. I just think the matchup is a little tough. I think the matchup's tough on both tight ends. But Strange, I actually like a lot more Jacksonville plays than Kansas City plays, which sucks because I think Kansas City wins the game. Kelsey, too. I think I'm just going to have to play a decent amount of Kelsey, just being honest. I don't love the play, but I do think he's got a pretty good floor. He's only got, one touchdown on the year, right? Let me make sure. He's only got one touchdown on the year, and he still gets you like every week. He's got like 10 points. He's got a bunch of targets. I don't know. I agree with you. I think he probably scores on Monday night. ETN's the one guy that we feel pretty good about. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't love tight end, but I think these guys are more than in play.
Yeah, it's like the more you go through a slate, and this is where it's like I can really feel NBA's back because I start to have the same emotions this time of year. It's like I just hate every play, and like especially in NBA, I'll hate all the studs. Then you're like, well, you got to play a few of them. And like ETN, the more and more you get through this slate, it's like, well, I guess I really like ETN, especially if you're not going to be high on Worthy, you have to be high on ETN, right? Like that's just the reality of it. It's like if you're not playing an 8,800 Worthy because you think he's hurt, you're going to have a bunch of salary left over, and that's why you're going to end up with a little bit more Brian Thomas, where you said 33% in your first run, right? You're going to end up with probably even a little bit more Kelsey in that scenario too, with if you're going to be lower on Worthy. So. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things. Yeah, this is a slate where you look at your lineup and you say gross, and that is definitely the way that I think I would approach this. But if I did ETN, Mahomes captain, and you throw in your guy like Quinn Allen, then you're still stuck in that studs range, but you could easily leave a little bit of salary with like Strange and stuff, right? Like that's where you can kind of get a little bit different, make some competitive lineups. You might even end up leaving 1 or 2K by going Strange over one of the kickers or Strange over Hunter. Like, here's a question for you: Strange or Hunter? Straight up.
Definitely Hunter for me, but just more ceiling based. I feel like he's got more outs to really crush, like make big plays, stuff like that in prime time. But I think they're somewhat similar plays. I don't think they're very different. Strange, I would trust Strange's floor more. I feel like more times than not, he gets you like 8 to 10. Hunter could get you 0 easy. Like, just not be involved at all. But Hunter, me personally, I like Hunter more tonight. I think Hunter shows up, and Hunter's one of my favorite guys, honestly, the more we talk about it.
Every time they do like Monday Night Football, they do all these coach meetings, right, with this staff, like Aikman and Buck or whatever, probably in the Monday Night Football booth saying, here's how they're going to use Travis Hunter tonight. They're going to showcase him tonight and everything. And that's what they told us in the Friday meetings. It's going to be a Travis Hunter week. I just feel I can envision that. I'm envisioning Joe Buck and Troy Aikman knowing all the intel. They already hit Travis Hunter's overs because they talked to the coaching staff. It's going to be a Travis Hunter game here. I'm thinking the same thing. I'll go Hunter over Strange.
I always wonder when messages like this, like, are people not watching? Are they behind? Are they like we just talked about Thornton? I gave a whole reasoning about Thornton. You can't be watching live if you're asking that.
Yeah, you definitely like Thornton, completely unknown, especially with Worthy's injury status. Like, you're not going to go and shove 25, 30% though, but he's going to be unknown.
I just think if you play 5 teams, I'll just use the 5 teams example. I think it's a good play on like one of those 5. Yeah. I'm not saying, and again, like people that watch our shows always understand what I'm saying, but I don't want people to say, oh, he likes him, and then all of a sudden they're playing him on 4 of the 5 teams. Because when you're wrong and Worthy's fine, he's just not going to play much, and you're not going to win on those teams. But when you're right, you can win a lot of money. It's why I've always done better at Showdown and 2-game slates than like main slates. I just always have because I know how to leverage a little bit. And yeah.
Well, let's see here. Nice Kevin's clearly implying to click the button, the like button, that is, and also the subscribe button. Make sure to click that here. Help us out here at Run Pure Sports. Hit that like and subscribe. Get us, how many subscribers are we at? We hit 20K, I feel, right? Or am I completely off base there?
We're over. We were at least, unless we lost some troops along the way.
There's no way. I have to check it on my phone because I don't want to.
Does it say we're less than 20?
No, we better not be less than 20.
We might have. If we picked a few losers, we might have lost a few along the way. We need more subscribe. We need more what do you call it? Clicks. We need more somebody to click the follow button.
Oh, we got 20.3K. Get us to 20.4K, guys. Yeah, let's get it. Look at that. We gained 300 over the last month. Who would have thought that? Not me. No, of course I did. Of course I expected us to gain subscribers. All right, Big T, let's talk about your favorite positions in the world, the defense and the kickers.
I think
Kickers
they
tonight,
have,
though.
I think
God,
they
I
have
like
to be
those
in
kickers.
play.
What'd
What'd
you
you
say?
say?
We sounded like a damn mirror there. You have to like the kickers. What do you think about them tonight?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said because I was talking at the same point.
Same.
But I have to like them. We didn't like anybody, right? It's just hard to figure out who to spend on. And I do feel like this game's not some crazy shootout. We just talked about all the guys we don't like. So obviously we don't think there's some crazy amount of points. I think you have to like these plays. With kickers, I always like to game log more than any other position, probably in any sport. I love to game log. Butker, 13, 13, 7, and 11. On a slate like this, is that not something you're very interested in? I mean, just a rock solid, like 10 points every single week. He's got over 10, 3 of the 4 weeks. Tonight definitely looks like a field goal slate. And then Cam Little might be the best kicker, like talent-wise, in the NFL. 15, 10, 5, and 9. I think kickers are great plays tonight. Love both of them. And then you look at the defenses. We know Trevor Lawrence makes mistakes. We know the Chiefs' offense has had issues. Jacksonville's defense is a little underrated, I would say. But you click on, okay, Chiefs, 3-3, 12-8. They played the Chargers, good offense. Philadelphia, good offense. They got 3 both of those games. Giants, bad offense. They got 12. And then Baltimore, who quit and just stunk, 8 points. So in the one game they've played a bad team or a team similar to like Jacksonville, I would say. Not better than Jacksonville's better than the Giants, but 12 points. I still like the kickers more there. And then Jacksonville has been awesome this year. 11-8, 12-15. I think they're very underrated. No one's going to want to play a defense against Patrick Mahomes, especially if you play Mahomes captain, right? No one wants to do that. I kind of do. I think Jacksonville's defense has looked awesome. Both of them are going to be like 10% owned, which is always awesome. And it's another rule that you can do just to get different. Like you just say, give me one kicker and one defense and run it. Like just 2 rules like that could get you instantly different. I really, really like. I haven't liked much on this slate, which says a lot for the slate. Kickers and defenses, I definitely want a decent amount of exposure to these spots.
Yep, I am 100% with you. Cam Little is the one who banged the 70-yarder too in the preseason. Like, you got to love that. Butker as well. I mean, the Chiefs have stalled in the red zone quite a bit, even on the opposing side of the 40, right? Like, they stall so often and it's just Butker show, right? Like, all of a sudden he just gets 10. I think 10's good enough. I think Little and Butker are both great plays. And we haven't talked about many great plays, right? Like, we haven't loved a lot. Sounds like we're both on the kickers, though, which I'll definitely take. And you're right. Like, I told you that stat, too, about the Jaguars. They're able to get to the quarterback a lot. And, Mahomes has been capable of throwing some pick sixes, too. No one's clicking on the defenses, though, not especially the Jags defense. Like, that is a play where all of a sudden they get a few sacks and all of a sudden Mahomes looks human. There's a lot of talk about the Chiefs. Is the dynasty over? That's what you're going to read post-game. And it's all because Josh Hines Allen, he changed his name, which – how do you like that hyphen? Did you know that he changed his name from Josh Allen to Josh Hines Allen now?
I did not know that.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. maybe he was excited.
No, he did it because he's not even close to the most famous Josh Allen in the NFL. And he's like,
that's literally why he did it.
He had to. He's been an absolute beast. He's a Pro Bowler and all that. He's probably feels overshadowed by Josh Allen himself, the one in Buffalo. Like, when I saw Josh Hines Allen when they were playing against the Bengals, I'm like, he had to do that for one reason and one reason only. Like, there is zero shot that he did that without the influence of the Buffalo Allen.
Yeah.
And he was a stud at UK. You know that, right? Like, he's a UK guy.
Yeah. I mean, I liked him in college. He's somewhat young still, too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Very young. 2019 was the draft class, so he's only 20.
I thought it was even later than that. He's older than I thought. It makes sense, though. I remember him coming in. But if I'm playing Butker, should I fade Pat Cap? I actually think it's one way to get unique. People don't usually do stuff like this, but Patrick, we don't feel great. Well, Rubio likes Worthy more than me, but we don't feel great about any of the weapons. So I don't see an issue with it. Some slates I wouldn't love it, but what happens when it's just spread all around? What happens with, like Rubio talked about with Pat running more? What happens when he runs in? What happens when it's a 17-10 game and he runs in both touchdowns or something?
Yep.
It gets you so unique. And what I like about it, it gets you a better floor where if there just isn't much scoring and they kick field goals, like no one has those builds.
No.
It might not give you the ceiling. Like if it starts scoring crazy, you won't be able to win with that build overall. But again, Showdown, just look at it different. You don't have to look at it the same way. If it's just a weird, like who's going to play a Patrick Mahomes captain, Butker, Jacksonville defense? Like that's how you solo ship something. You do a build like that, and then you can still play like 3 studs with it. Oh God, you got a perfect show. Now you're talking on mute.
I said I'm definitely down for that, right? You filled in the gap enough. I was about to go in more on Josh Allen. This is the first time I even recognized it, but he's also got a sister who plays in the WNBA, which Manisha Hines Allen. I was like, oh, there you go. It's the second.
You would
NBA.
know that. I'm not surprised you noticed that.
I didn't know that. I didn't. I just looked that up. Like, I was looking, why did he change his last name? He did it a year ago, even. So that's how bad the Jags were last year. I didn't notice it.
But see what happens when it's 20-3 Jag. I mean, it probably will be. Whatever I like the Chiefs, this is what happens. And ETN's going to go crazy. And I mean, Brian Thomas is going to house a deep one. I just, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be the bad
part. How was the game? The game sucked.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. You got your son ate everything in that.
That was the fun part. The kids had a good time.
Oh yeah. I tell you what, when you're 4 or 5 burgers, hot dogs, cookies, everything, 1 of everything, or 4 of everything, I should say. And then you're taking a hot dog to go. Like that was
yeah.
Hey, there's no way he had a good day at school today. No way.
I haven't seen him yet. We'll see. We'll see when he gets back.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to give a play of the day, maybe like a stand of the day?
Yeah.
All right. Who's your showdown stand of the day? I mean, you're not going to get too chalky with that. I never have to worry about that with you. But
I hate giving these plays with someone that I know is not going to be all right. I don't know if they're going to be on my main team. So I'll just like the leverage play, I think, is Tyquan Thornton for the reason I talked about with the Worthy injury. But again, that's kind of a risky play. And then LaQuint Allen, I think, is the punt for me. So it's kind of 2 plays. I was looking through there. For my play of the day, though, I want to give a little bit something that I like more. Let's go with both kickers on my team. Ooh. Both kickers in the same team. Cam Little, awesome kicker. Harrison Butker, awesome kicker. And I just don't think people do that much. I think it's a kicker game. The more I look at it, the more I hate everyone on the slate, the more I like that. So give me both kickers and see what happens.
I like it. Brian, no, I'd never take a plate home. No, don't disrespect me like that. I wasn't taking sweet food home. No, that'd be it. No, that is not me. Both kickers, though, big T's. Play of the day in the same line. I like that. I do like that combo a lot. Just fiddling with it, especially if you're just captaining Mahomes, it kind of funnels you into that area. If you're not playing LaQuint Allen, you don't really have to worry about it, right? If you are playing LaQuint Allen, you're going to be able to spend up a lot. It does kind of land you in that range, though, when you have Patrick Mahomes captain. I'm going to go a different direction here, Big T, because I'm going to take a stand against someone. My play of the day, the anti-play of the day, Brian Thomas Jr. going to have a very poor outing, 10-2. I'm thinking he puts up under 55.5 yards as pick 6 prop. He's going to be a guy. I think he gets shut down today. It's going to be the Travis Hunter show. It's going to be the De'Ami Brown show. Brian Thomas is going to be a ghost out there. They're going to be saying, what's wrong with him? Trevor Lawrence sucks, all this stuff. But in reality, it's Brian Thomas being absolutely awful in a terrible matchup.
I actually like the anti-play of the day for Showdown as much as the play of the day. It almost helps more for people when you give the anti-play of the day.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's the thing is, right? I can tell, my play of the day could have been Patrick Mahomes. That's telling anyone nothing. We're going to go against Brian Thomas, though. That'll tell people a little bit of something. Biggest best ball bust of the year. That is up there. I definitely think Brian Thomas might be up there. Who T. Higgins could be up there too. Like he just because of the that's out of his control.
I mean, it depends on if you're talking about injured guys or not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of injured dudes too that are going to be bigger busts.
I mean, yeah, if you're just talking about a guy who ran
I mean,
in a fully healthy situation, Brian Thomas would have to be completely out there. I'll say it too. Travion Henderson, with how high he was going, like, dude can't even get on the field when Ramondre is fumbling and all that. Like, Ramondre got both goal line carries, and Vrabel made it clear that he didn't trust the guy, and then puts him in for like the last 5 or 6 carries too. It was just crazy stuff there. All right. BTJ, I didn't realize it was that high. 13th overall. That makes sense. All right. Big T, great show today. You'll have your takes on the your own Showdown page as well. You have a full core, everything about that. So if anyone's looking for Big T's content, that'll be up later tonight. You'll have a full Showdown playbook as well. JSU will be on the premium show with Wiley at 7 o'clock tonight too. So anyone who is missing JSU, be sure to check it out. That'll be a premium stream only. For Big T and for I, we appreciate y'all for watching. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Bye-bye.